I was arrested at the age of 15 and later convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder under theory of accountability. And this led to me being sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. I was supposed to die in prison.
This is Unlawful. Welcome to Unlawful. As always, I'm Brandon Renken, and with me today is Marshan Allen. Marshan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I was introduced to Marshan through a past guest, and I really am just meeting you for the first time. And so before we even get started, who are you? What do you do? What's your deal?
Right now, I'm a law student, first of all, third-year law student. But I work at an organization in Illinois called the Illinois Prison Project. And this organization has been in existence for about 5 years now. We provide direct representation to people who are currently incarcerated for post-conviction petitions, clemency petitions, as well as medical release. So people who are terminally ill or are medically incapacitated, we try to get them parole so that they can spend their final moments with their families.
Did you get involved with that as part of law school, or did you go to law school because you were involved with that?
No, I was involved with this work for years, and I guess I can mention it now, but I'm formerly incarcerated. And When I came home, that experience of being incarcerated wanted me to get into the criminal justice reform space. And so when I came home, I started working for a nonprofit in Illinois called Restore Justice Illinois as their project manager, and I promoted to policy director. And now I've worked for several now, quite about 4 over the last almost 8 years that I've been home. And the one I work for now, Illinois Prison Project, I'm their policy director. So I'm advocating for bills to change laws to help people, to help end mass incarceration or reduce mass incarceration.
What took you to law school then?
So what took me to law school while I was incarcerated? So I'm gonna go back a little bit and just to share that, I was arrested at the age of 15 and later convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder under theory of accountability. And this led to me being sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. I was supposed to die in prison. And about 5 years into my incarceration, my older brother, who I looked up to and admired. Unfortunately, he passed away. He crashed on a motorcycle, and I didn't have anyone to cover my legal fees. And the lawyer that he had hired for me prior to his death had missed my deadline for filing my post-conviction petition. And I remember after that moment having a conversation with my mom about her wanting to raise funds to hire another attorney to represent me. And I knew that they couldn't afford it. I knew that it was going to be really more than that, $40,000, $50,000 that my family didn't have. And so I just told my mom to send me the typewriter, send me money to buy me a typewriter from the prison commissary.
Wow.
And so this was like the turning point that sparked my desire to learn the law. And I set out on my own and started to visit the library more, reading legal books, and then connecting with other, what they call jailhouse lawyers, people who were in prison, who had a really deep knowledge of the law. And I asked a lot of questions and eventually enrolled in a paralegal course to formalize, my learning. And there was a defining moment when it all just clicked. And I just began truly to understand how the law worked.
How did you end up getting out?
There was a decision that came out from the Illinois Supreme Court, People versus Leon Miller, that kind of opened the door for me to get back to the court to get resentenced. And when the decision came out, I pulled the typewriter out. And I began typing up a post-conviction petition, probably my 4th one at this time, explaining why I should be considered for resentencing based on this new Illinois Supreme Court decision. And it worked. The court, it was the first one that they accepted of my petitions. And I ended up getting a free sentencing hearing. The petition was filed in 2002, and it took 5 years for the judge to make a ruling on it. And then I was resentenced the first time in 2010.
I have a billion questions. And just to be clear, my dad was sentenced to 10 years, served 5 for bank fraud when I was growing up. So I'm, very familiar with trying to figure out what to do, right? Not for obviously nothing like you were going through. I would never try to compare anything to what you've been through. I can definitely remember going and visiting my father and trying to figure out what it takes to put one foot in front of the other. And you were so young. Where did you find the drive to figure this all out for yourself?
Yeah, so when my case happened, when I was charged, I had always accepted the responsibility that I was, well, not always, probably in the police station I wasn't. I got was charged, I pretty much accept the responsibility that I had did something wrong and I should be held accountable for that. My gripe was just being sentenced to prison for life without parole. Well, being charged as an adult and then charged with murder for essentially just stealing a car and then being sentenced to life without possibility of parole. And that was just, that never set well with me. I was like, this is not going to be my destiny or my legacy where I'm going to die in prison. I don't deserve that. Yes, I deserve to be held accountable, punished for what I did, but this is way out of proportion for what my
Sure.
role was. And so that was the drive. And when I got to prison, it was just so different from anything I've ever experienced. That everything from not just like the people who were incarcerated with me, but the guards, the way that they treated you. I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to be here. And that was the drive that really got me, just me feeling like an injustice happened to me, of being just thrown away, literally locked up and the key thrown away, and feeling like I deserve another chance. Like I don't deserve to die here. I deserve another chance. And when it wasn't just my post-conviction lawyer, my lawyer, my brother hired for me, it was my appellate attorney, even some things my trial attorney did. I had these bad experiences with lawyers. And I didn't feel like I felt like they were indifferent to my situation. They didn't really care what happened to me. And I just felt that I could do a better job myself. I just represent myself. I know I'm going to put my best effort into it and try to do what I need to do so that I could be reunited with my family.
What I've heard from people who have spent time going through this process is that you do feel like if you don't take affirmative steps, you do risk losing your humanity. Am I even close?
Oh, you're absolutely right. And it was like even little things where you were in a cell and the indignities as well of being in a cell and there's a toilet and the bed and you're locked up with someone else, and every day you have to sit there where they use the bathroom, and you're on lockdown. They won't give you a shower, and you want to wash your body, but they won't let you put a curtain up so people can walk past the cell and see you.
The crime happened when you were 15, you were sentenced when you were 18, still very much a kid. So many kids are just adjusting to junior high, much less high school at that point. I can't possibly imagine what that was like. You write this petition and it gets accepted, and then you get aligned with a public defender, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
And then you're starting to go through the process.
That was my biggest concern. And what had happened, another juvenile, a person who was serving juvenile life without parole as well, he filed the same petition. He got denied. And so we were like in the circuit court at the same time with our post-conviction petition, and he got denied. I was granted. The state appealed my decision. This case decided before mine, and the court denied him because they said it wasn't retroactive.
Wow.
So I'm like, I get his decision, and I'm like, I'm about to lose. Like, I'm about to lose this whole entire thing. And it's on retroactivity, a procedural hurdle. But luckily, my panel of appellate court didn't decide that. They just looked at cause and prejudice and said that, hey, he had cause and prejudice for filing it. And I was able to, proceed on, but with the resentencing hearing. But I can tell you, it was very nervous because I knew that this was like my last chance to get into court. This is my only chance. If this doesn't work, and dying in prison is probably what's going to end up happening to me.
And then clearly, like when you find out that you got the good decision, I mean, look, every lawyer has gotten a good decision in their career. No lawyer has gotten a decision this good. Right?
Like, on my birthday, the appellate court decision came in prison on my birthday. And I was like, this would be a cruel joke if they deny my appeal on my birthday.
Well, and everybody else for the rest of your life is screwed because they can't get you a good birthday present in comparison. No. As you sit here today, what unlawful moment do you want to tell us about? What's your unlawful moment?
It was my learning the law, and that moment when I realized that when it clicked, it was a moment when it just clicked and I realized I understood it and that I could apply it. So that was it. And then even in law school, I was just mentioning about when I was there and I'm having all this self-doubt, I get comments and feedback and let me know that, yeah, you could have done better, but you did really, really good. But the moment when I saw, like, I think it was my first grade over December 2022, I started with a criminal law class in the summer. Obviously, I knew a lot about criminal law because I went, but having that reinforcement of getting my grade back after going through the class, I realized I can do this,
I'm grateful that you never gave up. I wish you nothing but the best, and hopefully we stay in touch. Hopefully I become one of those bar references. But I know you have a lot of work to do, so I'll let you get back to it.
Right to the whip, I snap attack, front to back.